All right. Here's Spyro Fusion because we didn't talk about it last time.
Yeah, yeah, we forgot. Oh, my headphones are falling off. Okay, I kind of wanted to bring this up because when we ended our last little part, I was like, oh, wait a minute, we didn't talk about the European version of Spyro Orange, and it's a half and half for me. This one, most of the most of the European Spyro covers have been getting a lot of heavy criticism from us, and like this one's half and half because it is like the exact same artwork and models and stuff. Well, sort of. We'll get
Yeah.
there. Um, yeah, what kills it is the fact that they called it Spyro Fusion, and good job using a Wrath of Cortex render for Crash there, guys. Um,
Right. And to an extent, Crash Fusion, which is your.
oh yeah, Crash Fusion. I think that one was kept like the exact same across both the American and European versions, but for Spyro
Yeah,
Fusion,
it is.
um, they kind of like uh, rode that wave of what fucking renders should we portray Crash with, because here is his Wrath of Cortex render, whereas it was an early, mind you, Twinsanity render in the the U.S. version.
Uh
Um,
huh.
but because Twinsanity was being done around the time that Nitro Kart and this game were being made, because with Nitro Kart, there was the whole thing about Nina making an appearance there, but then that was scrapped. She makes an appearance in these games, or I think more heavily in this one, actually. I think more heavily in this one, if I remember right.
Right. That was her first appearance, right?
Yes, which pissed off Traveler's Tales because Oxford, because they were wanting to introduce her properly in Twinsanity. That was her second game. That was her first major like playable appearance, but people often forget that her debut was in this game.
Well, I
Um,
mean, if people forget, then why would it piss anyone off? It's like everyone's gonna forget this anyway, so.
well, no. It pissed the Twinsanity devs off because they didn't give the okay for them to use her stuff. I don't know how Vivi and them got a hold of this of those early Twinsanity assets, but like I'm saying, um, in Crash Purple on the cover and the little featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series on the US version, it's his Twinsanity render before Twinsanity was even like
Yeah.
I think properly revealed, or maybe it was like just barely revealed. I don't even know how the timeline crosses right there. Um,
But I'm saying it worked out for them anyway because nobody cares about these games.
well, I care anyway. But so like you could argue they're at the Cortex render, using that as more accurate, quote unquote, to the in-game sprites, which were ripped off of the old, like Crash 2 and 3. Because in Crash Purple, he looks and plays the exact same as he does in his Game Boy games, which again are sprites that were taken off the models of Crash 2 and 3. So Wrath of Cortex fits more into that more classic Naughty Dog ish look for him. But then you look at the cutscenes in Crash Purple, and those I think use his his Nitro Kart render, which is the first actual game that made his like fur go like from his muzzle to his chest down his body.
Yeah.
Uh, so his his portrayal is all over the place in these games, which is really funny. But I think the Twinsanity render fit more in line with the in-game cutscene version of Crash that they were showing off in Crash Purple, and here too in Spyro Orange. Um,
Hmm.
but okay, yeah, European guys, like I was saying, why is it so hard for you to, to name Spyro games? Because Spyro Fusion,
European guys.
it's always there's always a weird naming issue with the European PAL versions. I have no clue why. When they have
Yeah.
to, because some games aren't renamed. Like they didn't rename Enter the Dragonfly, but they renamed this one, and Ripto's Rage. Like I don't understand it. But and Spyro Fusion, first off, is a very boring sounding subtitle, but it makes it sound like you're Frankenstein stitching Crash and Spyro together, and it's like not a fun fucking. There's,
It's
it's
not a fun image.
no, and you're on Google Images right now. I'll throw up a couple of these ones that I'm seeing right now. they're just fan renders, but it's like, or fan artwork, but like that's the what I'm thinking of when I think of the fucking subtitle Fusion.
Yeah.
Ripto's Rampage, the Cortex Conspiracy. Like, first off, you've got that alliteration keeping up from a couple other past Spyro games, and they sound cooler. Fusion is too boring, like Crash XS or Spyro Adventure from Attack of the Rhinox.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's really weird. I mean, like, the weird thing is, like, they're separately called Spyro Fusion and Crash Fusion. It's like, it would be Spyro Crash Fusion, like, as a pack. Like one of these. Like, the Super Pack, you could call that Fusion.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that would have worked way better.
But because they're named that way separately, it sounds really weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Those other than that, the rest of it is like the exact same at least, so that's good.
Yeah. There's not much to talk about.
Yeah, just feel like I want to throw that in real quick.
Okay.
Yes. It's finally time.
No. No. Oh my god. I don't Alright, listen guys, I don't like the Legend series. I'm not a fan of it. I just don't really like it. It didn't appeal to me.
Boo.
I'm sorry, it did not appeal to me. I didn't really care that they were going for it's a darker story. I don't want that. I want fun.
Well, it's not like Spyro's bleeding out, dying on the street. Like, there's still wacky little goofy moments in there.
I know, but it's just like, and this is the comic relief. Like, you know, no, we didn't have that because like Spyro didn't need that. It's like the comic relief is Hunter, but like it wasn't in your face like it is here. It's like Sparks is the comic relief because he's voiced by a comedian. Like, you know.
Chalk that up to just tropes. They were like, we'll do that. They probably shouldn't have done that. I don't know. In terms of like the artwork here, though, like the one thing I thought was always really cool was how they like use this like silver steel outlining for Spyro now, and then like they tweak the little scale dealios and the tip of the tail so it more matches his design here. That lightning is really cool. Him just standing in this lightning firestorm is like really badass for some. He's doing some weird little, again, human-like pose, but like.
Yeah, I don't like the pose. Also, he looks real fat. Like, and his mouth is like stupid and squiggly, but like. Stupid. I don't like his head shape. I don't know. I think he looks dumb. He looks dumb. The lightning itself looks fine, I guess, but he looks dumb.
This is where I was saying before, I think way back in, what was it, like part 1 or something, where I was like, okay, guys, there are moments where if you frame him in just the quote-unquote right way, he kind of looks a bit bald, and here, right. What they did with his redesign is they segmented his little scale head spikies, so they're individual now, and now he looks really bald. I think his head's a little too round, it's a little too bulbous from the top.
Yeah, and there's like, you know, it's shiny, so he looks even more bald.
I mean, apart from I think it's also too because his horns are now kind of more angled back. They kind of like curl backward instead of like.
Yeah, I never liked that either.
I don't have like the hugest problem with it. At least he's still like the right colors and everything.
Colors are fine. Yeah, I just don't like the way he looks on here. It's just, I don't know, it looks weird. Just his model in general, I don't like, but, what do you think of the logo? Because the logo I actually like.
No, yeah, like I was saying, rebranding, or rather retooling the look of the Spyro font, or rather, just the way it looks, putting that, like, outline in there and all that. I like how, Legend and New Beginning, all that stuff, like that's all like a nice gold. It's very warm, very kind of welcoming into this new like rebooted world. We have another kind of void again. He's just in this black dimension, but like what's cool is that it stands out. Just this brightness of the more center of the piece kind of makes it kind of it all kind of blends, or rather it what am I looking for, the description, like it kind of fades that blackness away, so you don't really pay attention to it too much. It's just enough where, like, sure, there's probably like a little bit of negative space right there off to the right, but the company logos and the rating and stuff are all on the bottom, so there's not a whole lot that's like just left empty there. The emptiness on the top where the black void is where the it occupies the logo, and it kind of looks like he's like taking the full like force of like a blast, and it's like dividing through him. It looks really cool.
Also, are these like his legs? Like, you can sort of see a silhouette. Like, what's going on here?
I don't know. I just thought they would just fizzle out his legs, so that way it didn't really matter, because you're just looking at him from like the chest up.
I don't know. For some reason, it looks like a silhouette of his legs, and they look like really oddly shaped.
I don't think so. I think it's just part of the electricity-ness, or else he'd have very, very short legs.
Yeah, but that goes with his model being weird anyway, so...
I think it's harmless. So...
Sure.
I mean...
His wings look like they're coming out of his neck.
Well, it's very bright behind him. You're barely catching, like, what little you can see of his wings from behind him, because they're, like, in the blast.
Sure.
I mean, it kind of falls in line with some of the other box arts where it's just a void, so it's like, it's like to be expected at this point.
So, now we have the opposite problem. What is with the skinny neck?
This one was always really weird. There's the skinny neck, the big bulging eye. He looks more bald here than ever, just because it's a straight profile shot of him now.
Also, the glowing moon is, like, illuminating him in a way where it's, like, he has a white outline.
Yeah.
So, his spines are, like, separated from his head.
That's what it looks like, yeah. Speaking of his spines, I see they've kept that going all the way down his body. I said way back earlier that I thought it was off model for like the PS2 era for them to have, because it wasn't in the first game at all, having the little yellow spiny scales go all the way down his back to his tail. But the more I was looking and editing the other parts and seeing all these other box arts, that's a detail they've kept since the second game. So like, and even through here in the reboot. So like, that's an L for me, I guess.
This model is really weird. Like, his render here is really weird because it's not what he looks like in game. He looks the same as in the first one, but the thing that's wrong here is like, well, I think his neck is way too thin and twig-like. He's puffing out his chest. That looks weird. His wings might be too big. His horns are too small.
I think they're trying to make him look a little bit older, because I don't remember if there was even like a small time skip between the first two games. I don't think so. But this one was hand-drawn. And I think the other one that we'll be seeing in a minute is too. These ones were hand-drawn. The first one with New Beginning was done with the models and everything. But here, this one was hand-drawn, because there's a lot of hand-drawn art in Legend of Spyro. So this one, they were trying to go for this just kind of like, always epic, and it's meant to look all cool, and the moon behind him. And he looks a little off-model. Again, the big eye, the really round head. If you take his snout and his eye just kind of away, you kind of fade those out of the head. You just see how they just drew a like perfect circle, and then drew the neck going down, and like really accentuated his chest and everything, and then drew in his like snout and all that.
That one looks slightly better, I guess. I don't know. It's the same thing, but
this is the full art right here.
The body doesn't look bad. It's his head. It's just the head that looks weird.
Yeah, I mean, geez, he did not skip leg day. Look at his fucking thighs. Holy shit. You could see like how they drew it. It was just a bunch of circles. I think it's meant for him to look soft, yet the more prominent features of him that are what you use to attack and all that, aka his horns and all that. You can see like his tail and his wings are kind of more angular. They're pointy. So it gives him the edge while keeping him still kind of innocent for right now anyway. But it's just that big ass eye that looks really weird to me.
And his horns are too small. Because I'm looking at I'm comparing it to like here, because see they're like, because you see how they're really thick like at the base here, and then they're just like really thin as like you go here. But look at how they're actually supposed to be.
I mean, yeah. I don't know what they're going for with that.
I don't know. It just looks really weird. And still got that squiggly mouth that I hate.
The little squiggly mouth. I forgot. Why do you hate the squiggly mouth again?
Because it looks dumb.
Okay.
It just looks ugly.
I mean, it's harmless.
It just looks ugly to me.
Okay.
Because they took a character I thought was really cute and made him really ugly in my eyes.
Yeah, I think they should have used that full body render in the artwork. I probably would have balanced out the weirdness of his head and that just front part of his body.
The logo doesn't look bad though. I like the silver.
Yeah, I like how it's silver now. It's kind of like a weird Harry Potter thing going on.
Yeah, where they each of the games has like a different color for the subtitle.
I like it. Theming. Okay, this one's fucking cool. I really like this one.
I like.
Yeah, because that's Cinder in it.
Well, yeah, because Cinder's in it, but also Spyro's posed fine. I actually like his model in this game, as where most people do not like it, because the art changed because there was a different studio or something like that. I don't know. I actually don't mind it. I think the squiggle mouth bothers me less in this, but also you can't see the squiggle mouth on this cover, because he's he's breathing fire and he's in a cool dynamic pose, and so is Cinder, and everything looks really cool. There's like there's a background, there's scenery, there's an action scene happening. It's not just like a character slapped onto a background.
Yeah, exactly. It's a scenario from the game for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. The colors are really good. I like how you still this far into the series, you'll get that purple-orange contrast. It's so good. The darkness of the land with the bluish, stormy-looking sky, and then like that just hopeful fucking like sunrise, sunset, whatever it is, that evening setting. The way they come together, it brings those familiar colors back. And having Cinder there and Spyro with his classic colors, like, it all looks really good.
Yeah, and you get an idea of, the different abilities and elemental breaths that you have. Spyro's got his fire. Cinder's, is that poison? Green is poison, right?
I think so. I have to brush up on Cinder's powers. I don't remember. I like how they actually managed to portray the free flight.
Yeah, they do. That's a good thing they do.
It shows that it's the both of them that you get to play as. There's a lot here. The big points that they were trying to show off for this installment are like present on the box cover, and it's like so fucking good. How many times do you see this dude, by the way, that they're shooting at? Like, you see him a couple times, don't you?
Yeah, this is like the big like rock golem dude or something. It's like, I don't even think you defeat him until like halfway through the game, maybe? Or like almost halfway.
He's one of the first things you fight, like, at the start of the game.
Yeah, so. He's at the beginning, and then, like, he's going all the way into, like, the part in the big city, and then he's, like, destroying everything, and, they have to... There's one part where you have to, like, fly up to him, and it's, like, really awkward because the free flight isn't very good, and so, you have to keep... It's like Shadow of the Colossus, but it's, like, awkward.
Oh boy. Yeah, mind you, this is the one I haven't played a lot of yet, but I will get to it because it wasn't until just recently, like a few months ago, that we finally, my brother and I finally beat Eternal Night. So we're trying to do it chronologically. Like I've beaten fucking New Beginning multiple times, but it was really tough just because of how stupid they made the enemies in Eternal Night to beat that game even once, and now we're finally moving on to this one. So there's a lot that's going to be blind for me, believe it or not, for this installment.
Yeah.
But this is like one of the best Spyro covers yet. I don't have like any bad things to say about it, and I think this was across this in the European version. It was kept the same, yeah.
Yes. All of them for the Legend series were the same.
Cool. Absolutely no changes.
All right, here we go. Skylanders, Stealth Elf's Adventure featuring Spyro.
You heard it from her first, not from me. I wasn't going to say that. I was, but she said it first.
It's because I've said it before on Spyrocast, because I am so... God. I'm so angry at whoever thought it was a good idea. Let's not have Spyro in the middle, even though it's called Spyro's Adventure. I mean, why isn't he the center character?
You're talking
do you not know how to design covers?
I mean, you're talking to the fucking preacher back in the day, 2016 or so, of, you know, me going, Spyro, it's called Spyro's Adventure, and there's supposed to be a lot of Spyro, not references, but more so influence in Skylanders, but it's barely portrayed, it's barely conveyed. You can't fucking get a sense that this is supposed to be, that Spyro is the leader of the Skylanders and that he's the main one, because he's treated just about as hugely as like anyone, importantly rather, as anyone else.
Like a generic Skylander, just like everybody else.
Yes, exactly. And everyone was fighting me on that. And I'm like, no, if you're a fucking fan, I was gonna say, if you played the game, well, if you're a fan, you have. It's fun when you are like in the catacombs, which is like out of like the middle, coming towards the end of the game, and you find his soul gem. Like, that's when you know that Spyro is not the focus of this video game series much at all. Barely by the end of its run, the 6th game, Imaginators, is when they started to finally kind of give him the spotlight. And it's like, oh my god. Okay, for this artwork though, you get your colorful characters. You get Spyro, even if he's not in the middle, as he should be. You can see the elements, which are really cool, that they're like kind of, you know, bordering the bottom of the logo. I don't have a problem with the way the logo looks or anything like that. It's big. It's really nice. It's like, bam, characters you can play as. It's just...
I don't even have a problem with Skylanders. I just really don't like how Spyro's not the focus.
Spyro not being the focus, and what they did was design, because I still hate that design. That will never change. And all that stuff is what made me go, okay, if none of that, if either they went about this the way they did with Crash, where they gave him so many props in his inclusion, or this just wasn't about Spyro at all, then I wouldn't have a problem with Skylanders. It could be its little fucking kid game that I wouldn't give a shit about, but like, the fact they tied one of my fucking childhood characters into this franchise, and then just proceeded to kind of shit on him a little bit at the start there, that is when I went, okay, what? Like, really?
I know. I mean, well, that's how I, you know, got into it, wanted to play it, because I was just like, whoa, Spyro's coming back and he's in a thing, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is, but okay. And then, like, I got it, and then I played it a little, and then my PS3 is dumb, and it decided it's like, I'm gonna not work very well, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so I didn't really get that far, and then it was just like, it was okay. It's not even like really, it's not really that fun, like, but it's
the first game's
whatever.
Bad. You're not missing out on it. Just watch the playthrough on VidGames FTW. Like, I'm not plugging, I'm just saying. I'm telling you more so than...
I played a little bit of Giants, and that was kind of the same. And I
Yeah.
I liked Swap Force. I never had it, but I played a little of it, and I liked the mechanic, the swapping thing. I thought that was cool.
The one thing I thought was kind of cool, because I had to confirm for, I think it was part 3 of the Comeback Saga on my channel, talked about Crash and Spyro's revivals. I had to go through and watch. I literally watched all the cutscenes and stuff through all the Skylanders games just to make sure that I'm not overstepping anything by saying, yeah, that Skylanders doesn't really, push Spyro as the focal point, as the front center, as they should have. And that does kind of ring true if you watch the cutscenes, try to get a sense of each game's story. But, like, one of the things that was really cool, I think, in Trap Team, has nothing to do with Spyro, I just thought it was cool. Here, guys, now I'm giving props to Skylanders, is how they do the whole, was it Traptanium thing or whatever? The little trap crystals.
I never got to play Trap Team, but I always wanted to, because I want to play as Chaos. I was like, what? I want to play as him.
There's a cool part in the story, because this series, with how kid-like it is, and how fucking preschooler cartoon it can get sometimes, like, oh, you're joining us on this adventure, and they play that shit up throughout the whole fucking franchise. But in Trap Team, it was kind of cool, because they did a little twist where Chaos is supposed to be talking directly to you, so they released around that time a new Portal of Power that had a speaker in it. So you're watching the cutscene, and he's talking in the cutscene, but you don't hear his voice in the cutscene. You hear it through the portal. So he's talking directly to you, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then he's all like, watch as I make your controller vibrate. And then your controller vibrates, and it's like, oh, no, my God, what's he doing to my fucking video game?
My God,
it's kind of cool.
That's funny.
It's a cool little fourth wall break. I played throughout the entirety. I beat Imaginators, and I like I said, I am glad that they eventually fucking woke up and went, oh, hey, maybe Spyro should, like, fucking be the leader. But, like, that late into it, I think people stopped caring. But it was cool to see him, like, interact with Crash and his little Thumpa Wumpa Islands part, and to see him pop up, throughout the majority of the cutscenes. So, like, the story is about a small group of Skylanders, which is what I thought they were going to go with as early as this game, and it never really felt like that. So that's what threw it off for me. I was like, well, then what the fuck? And then, like, the show, Skylanders Academy, has your group of ragtag Skylander heroes, and, like, that's
why can't that just be this game?
That's what I wanted from the games.
Just have the same plot as Academy.
Exactly. They thought about it way too late, and I know that was a whole other team and all that, but still, that concept was thought up all too late, and now it doesn't matter because at the time of this video anyway, Skylanders just still really isn't around, besides, like, the mobile game, Ring of Heroes, which barely... It's like, okay, if you want your Skylanders fixed nowadays, that's pretty much all you have to go off of if you don't play these games, still to this day. Don't expect anything new anytime soon.
I keep hearing there's going to be new stuff, but, like, I haven't,
But to the mobile game?
It's just from fans.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
People are always saying, like, oh, there might be some things soon, and I'm like, okay, but you don't actually really hear anything, and even so, it's really just for Ring of Heroes.
Yeah. I mean, they can't do a 7th game the way they did the rest of the mainline console games, because with the way we're living right now and all that, you can't exactly just go, even if you're vaccinated, you can't just go bum rush the fucking stores to go grab these new figures. They're not going to sell them like that the same way again. So I have no idea how they're going to do a 7th, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That thing is fucking heinous. Invades my nightmares.
It looks... Well, the eyes are, like, painted on pretty derpily.
No, he looks like that in the game, too.
Yeah, it kind of does. I don't know, I kind of just, like... The thing about Spyro's design in this game, I was just like... I didn't hate it immediately like other people. I was just kind of like... Like, I saw it and I was like, ugh, that's not... I don't know about that.
It turned me off
but
quite
I didn't go
fast.
like, this is the worst Spyro thing that's ever happened. Like, like, you know, I think I thought Legend's design was uglier, but even so, I didn't even say that about Legend. I didn't say that was the worst thing that ever happened.
Well, I don't
I
think I
was
said
just
it was
like,
the worst. I think I was just like, that looks ugly. It doesn't look like a good design.
I mean, it's definitely not pretty, but
I mean, the same way that people didn't like Young Conqueror, or the way people shit on the fucking Titans and Might Mutant designs, which aren't that bad. Okay. If we're gonna keep critiquing the box art or whatever, at least in terms of the way he looks, his fucking, because you did it with Legend, his snout is way too damn small. His eyes are
Right.
really grossly big. His grin looks scary. He's got a weird dumb unibrow now. He looks like a fucking gremlin.
yeah, that's what people call like Goblin Spyro, Gremlin Spyro.
Yeah, they like over accentuated his fangs, and he just looks like he looks like Gilgrunt right there. It's like a fucking sea creature. Take his wings away, and don't tell me he looks like some fucking Nessie ripoff.
Well, but the thing is, I like sea creatures though, so it's not even that bad. Like,
He looks like an ugly sea creature.
well, yeah, it's an ugly sea creature. Like in this shot right here, I think Gilgrunt looks cuter. And I'm not even a fan of Underbites, but I think his looks kind of cute.
Because he looks like he has a fish head.
Yeah, well, I like fish.
He looks like his head is like literally a fish just plopped on a body.
Yeah, I like fish head people.
I like fish.
I don't know. I like the characters of Skylanders more than like I do actually playing the game.
Stealth Elf is hella cute. I really like her, and certain other characters are really cool. A lot of them are like ugh, but are equally as ugh to me as Spyro is, but some are really cool.
I like Freeze Blade, the ice Sly Cooper.
Welcome to the Skylanders part of the.
I know.
Video.
Hold on. Actually, I just want to look him up.
Are we using this or are we using this? I'm not sure.
Sure, just put it in here. I'm very sorry. I just want to show everybody this. Just because, like, hey, look at him. Freeze Blade's cool. Anyway, this is the only Swap Force figure I have, just because I like him as a character.
I've never seen him before. That's interesting.
Anyway. All right. What can I say about this that I haven't before?
It all culminates to this. Spyro's magnum opus. For real this time.
For real this time, exactly. I don't know. This is really, really good. I really love this artwork.
It's
even
amazing.
The one that's just for the box itself. The one that's in like that. It's not the full thing. I even like that because it's awesome. Like it portrays all three games in a really good way, and it has the different colors to differentiate from each game. It has all three major villains.
Yeah.
And for the full artwork, we see some of the most memorable enemies and areas from each game.
Yeah, I think it was a very cheeky move to use Skelos Badlands to portray Spyro 2, seeing as we really dove in headfirst and just beat the crap out of that box art, the European version, when we were critiquing
Well, yeah, but
it.
that's but the thing is, Skelos Badlands is the most memorable level of Spyro 2, which is why they put it on the Gateway to Glimmer box art, probably. But
well, like I mentioned before too, when we were talking about that, it might also come from the fact that it's what you see on the title screen too.
Yeah.
So either way, it's a flagship level that just encompasses that portrays this is Spyro 2.
The only weird thing is that there's a dragon egg, like there's a baby dragon and an egg like in Skelos Badlands here. What the hell's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like a slight little because we're just crossing them over. It's all three.
It's like we had to put them somewhere. Where are we gonna put them?
Yeah, they should have put them on top of the O.
Yeah.
I like how the double dragons are coming out of. They're like one's on one side of the logo, and one's on the other.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So, That's supposed to be Fireworks Factory, right? Back there?
Yes. Yes.
The colors throw me off because obviously at Fireworks Factory it's nighttime.
Yeah.
So you never seen it in the day, and it's like, what? It's all blue and sunny.
um I mean it's cool that they fuse this all into like one like cohesive piece, because you think of like Insane Trilogy and it's segmented off of like a portal or whatever. It's like Crash is stepping on the portal, and then you've got like Bzoop, there's Crash 1, Bzoop, there's Crash 2. It's the polar level, and then Bzoop, you got Crash 3 or whatever. Or something like that. That's kind of what they do. And it's like, okay, well, that's fine. But here, like, they managed to make it feel all like it's all part of one world, and just with each game you're going somewhere else. You know? So, like, I think it's cool how they managed to show that.
Yeah, and it's segmented well because, like, you know, you don't have to have any, like, awkward cuts. It's just, like, Spyro himself is what breaks them apart.
Exactly.
You got his horns separate the middle part from the two other parts, and then, you know, got the two parts on the side separating by his face. His cute little face. Look at his model.
Yeah.
His render and model is so cute and reignited. It's the best Spyro model. The best Spyro design we have.
It looks really, really good. It with those little nice subtle differences, like just the detail and the little chips on the horns and his crest. Other than that, I mean, this truly is an updated version of the Insomniac era Spyro. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
The colors are just right. Everything looks... The one thing that I remember that threw me off a little bit when I first saw those, like, early promo images right before the trailer dropped, is that the only other difference color-wise is that the horns... And this you can see in other box arts and artwork in general, renders. Sometimes the horns can't decide whether or not they're supposed to be kind of like a more brownish beige, darker color, or about as yellow as his little hair scalies. Because here, and that's something that was in Skylanders too, so that's where I was like, okay, I see the Skylanders kind of reference there, influence there. Didn't turn me off, but I thought it was just kind of odd. Also too, because if you do the code in Reignited to get the classic retro Spyro skin, you can see that the horns are darker, so.
Yeah.
What would you do? What would you do if you zoomed in really close, really, really, really close into his mouth, and he had a very, very slight squiggle mouth?
Well, it depends, because if it was very slight and I didn't notice it, it'd be fine. But if it's like all throughout, then it looks really weird.
But like, unbeknownst to you, they never got rid of it.
If he had conductor mouth, it would be weird.
That's another good way of putting it. We should call that from now on, squiggly conductor mouth.
Conductor, but the conductor looks good because he's designed that way. Like,
you knew him as that from the start. Spyro never had that from the start. It just doesn't bother me because I don't care.
The conductor plant.
That's true. From Mystic Marsh.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know.
It's just really good.
Really good, and I love this box art, and I'm so glad this is what we actually got over the placeholder one.
The placeholder one's funny because I remember talking about it on one of my playthroughs on Vid Games with my friend Jeremiah, where you can tell for some of these remastered projects, for Insane, for Reignited, and for CTR Nitrofield, they took one level and made that the forefront of the marketing and all that, because for Crash, for Insane, it was, I think, it kind of varied. It was mainly Insanity Beach, but sometimes it was like something else, like a polar level or something. For Reignited, it was Wizard Peak, or not. Wizard Peak. It was
Magic Crafters.
Magic Crafters. Yeah, because of the arcs and everything. And the cool thing too about it is that I went to E3 2018, so I was there on the show floor and I played Spyro, and it was really cool because they recreated the arcs, and you could go through them, and that's how you got into the Spyro booth, and it was so fucking cool. But yeah, everywhere in the in the promo art and all that, you see Magic Crafters very like primarily. I mean, which isn't too out of place for Reignited because, again, Spyro 1's original title screen, he was in Magic Crafters. So
Yes.
it's not too out of place, which I thought was really funny. And for Nitro Field, it was Papu's Pyramid was showing off very heavily in the promo art.
Yep. Which is really fun. Actually, now that I think about that, it's really funny because we're talking about, like, you know, title screens. So in Spyro 2 it was Skelos Badlands, and that's what's portrayed here. In Spyro 3 it was Fireworks Factory, and that's what's portrayed here. In Spyro 1 it was Magic Crafters, and Artisans is portrayed here. Like, what?
No, I was actually going to say, to bring it full circle, I think it was there to reference the OG box art instead of the title screen.
Yeah.
Because Artisans is where you start. It's a little more iconic, even though, again, they use Magic Crafters for the marketing, but Artisans is just so... I mean, talk about calling it a homeworld. It's so homely. It's so, like, iconic. That's where you start. It's going to be very familiar right off the bat. Or, I mean, hell, they used Artisans for the Japanese box art, so...
Yeah.
I think we have a little bit of, like... I think we have a little bit of each. It really does come full circle, doesn't it? Each region. European is Spyro 2. Japanese, Artisans specifically for Spyro 1. And then American for the title screen, I guess. I mean, it might be... I mean, it's probably the same for each region in-game. But, like, Fireworks Factory for 3.
Yeah. Also, it kind of goes with the colors. You know, Artisans, like, green.
Green, red, blue, yeah. It's really
Red
good.
And blue.
I think it's only blue because for 3, for Fireworks Factory, because it's so far back in the distance.
Yeah. Plus the sky's blue, so, like, they'd have to... It would look weird if it was any other color.
Yeah.
They'd have to do some kind of contrast, so...
Because it's very lava-like as it is. It blended in too much with Skelos Badlands there. Oh, hey, look. The lava lizard actually looks good this time around.
Yeah, I know. Look at that awesome render. Lava lizard. Hey, you're right.
Yeah.
That actually looks really cool. I do like the way the lava lizards look.
They look really good in Reignited. No problems whatsoever. It's just perfect. I mean, you get gems. You got the 3 main villains. You got... I kind of wish there was a thief. Is there? No, that's a dragon, a crystal dragon in the background, behind Nasty. I thought that was a thief. I wish they kind of put a thief in there.
Oh, yeah. They should put a thief.
But I don't care that there isn't necessarily, because I mean you got a portal, you got another portal, or at least it's the cave entrance over there in the mouth. You got the baby dragon. You've got...
The thief should have been, like, on top of the castle.
That'd have been funny.
And okay, actually, because you're just like, oh, they got gems. The funny thing is, because they have the green, blue, and they got a red gem over there. Why isn't the red gem on the green side? Because why is it on the red side? That blends in too much. How about you move it over to the green side where it can actually stand out?
Yeah, I don't know. Got some blue gems. But where's the yellow and purple gem representation? You know what? This box gets a 0 out of 10. Nah, fuck this box. I guess a 0 out of 10.
No yellow and purple gems.
Nope.
And the red gem is on the wrong side?
You know, red and yellow, purple and yellow, which are Spyro's colors.
Yeah, that's true. And the red gem is the most delicious looking one.
That's what my friend Jeremiah said, so I gave him ring pops at the end of our playthrough.
I want ring pops!
Next time I go see you, I'll bring you ring pops. I forgot to do that the last time we hang out.
I know.
We hung out, whatever. We hanged out.
That blue gem looks really good on the red side, though. It really stands out. That looks pretty delicious, too. Makes me thirsty for water. I need some water. Anyway.
I think we're good. I think we've done it.
Yeah, I think we've talked about everything. We got let's see, we got the Spyro Fusion one, we got the Legend ones done, and the Skylanders, and now this. Yeah.
Wow. This was quite the journey. We've seen we laughed, we cried, we ranted a little bit here and there.
I think we ranted most in this one.
Yeah, probably.
Probably for me, people are gonna hate me ranting in this one. It's just like, why don't you like anything? It's like, I do. I just don't happen to like the stuff that I was shown here.
Look, there's some give and take. If you don't like Miharu's opinions on Legend, you can at least take solace in the fact that I like the trilogy, and I'm going to get into Dawn of the Dragon very soon. If you hate my opinions on Skylanders, at least take solace in the fact that Miharu doesn't care either way. There's little critiques she has here and there, but she doesn't hate it. Not that I necessarily even hate it, I just really dislike a lot of those choices that they made. It kind of panders to the kids a little too much.
And we even said really pointless things like, why is the red gem on the red side?
The series has a little bit of everything.
Anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for our cover art commentary. That's what I decided to call it.
I like it.
Cover art commentary
Cack.
on Spyro the Dragon.
Cack.
Cack. This was, of course, a nod to the box art critique, which, if you have not seen, please go watch them. They're really funny.
Yes.
And,
I'll probably watch the Zelda one later today.
Yeah. We're probably gonna do more of these later. Sometime in the future. So if you would like to see us do more cover art commentary, let us know what series you'd like to see us cover, and leave that in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe for more casual gaming content, and I'll see you next time. Until then, this is Miharu, signing off.
And Mark, bye! Nailed it.